Who can stop Meghan Markle? Oh, sorry, Meghan Sussex, because she says that's her last name. How stupid is this woman? Clearly, Northwestern University should be removing her from that website, because let's get into what is her real last name. Well, 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 it was bound to happen, because as I told you before, things only escalate, right? Meghan Markle hits back at her critics because she claims that Sussex is their last name. That's odd, because she hasn't officially changed her last name to Sussex for the very single reason that I will tell you about. So if Sussex is their last name, this is Archie, you know, that invisible child. This is his official birth certificate. And name and surname is Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor, as dictated by law. Okay, that's him right there. And it says that his father's name is his royal, this is where they get it, Henry Charles Albert David, Duke of Sussex. That's what they chose to put there. But actually, it is Mountbatten-Windsor, because the other two are titles and styles. If you don't believe me, here is another phony. Only Santa Barbara can produce these types of certificates, because as you all know, beautiful people, I have requested 7 birth certificates for a girl named Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor in the California Central State, you know, the records. They don't have that, so they always guide me to go look at Santa Barbara. So apparently, for some reason, which is odd because the kid supposedly is going to be 3 years of age, the central records of birth certificates in California does not have that. You literally have to go to Santa Barbara. And then there you will get this. You will get that there's a girl named Lilibet Diana, and as last names Mountbatten-Windsor. So yes, and of course they placed the Duke of Sussex and His Royal Highness. So the next His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex, will be that child's father. So yes, beautiful people, it seems that Meghan Markle is quite confused, doesn't know how to read. That expensive non-education she got at Northwestern University, well, apparently she doesn't know what a surname is. Because if her husband's surname was Sussex, then the invisible children's name would also be Sussex, not Mountbatten-Windsor. But what is she trying to do with this? What she's trying to say is, it's a sneaky way for her to say, well, it's our name, last name, so we're entitled to use it. That's a title. His Royal Highness is a style. And both are honorary. Now, I have been saying in my channel for many, many years now, a couple of years at least, that they shouldn't have been allowed to call themselves Sussex. From the first moment that they sat on a bench advocating for people to go vote, when we knew what both want, who they were endorsing, not as Rachel Meghan Markle or Henry Mountbatten-Windsor, but as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I understand people are very upset because, oh, it's a website. What people forget is that she did something much worse. She's been using the title for political reasons, as though when she wrote that letter to Congress, not as Rachel Meghan Markle. That is far more serious, guys. She did it on behalf of the crown, as the Duke, and from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is an official posting of the monarchy. And the monarchy kept quiet. They didn't say anything. I didn't hear the uproar. But this is what I tell about abusive people. They go push and push and push and push. We saw them. We saw them at Vancouver. That's another video I'm going to make in Vancouver. The coat of arms was there in full glory. Remember when they showed it? I did a video about it, about that coat of arms in Vancouver at a hockey game. And I said that that was their way to test the waters. That was the way to test the waters, to see if they got any slapback, which of course they didn't. They didn't get any slapback when Meghan Markle was calling congresswomen to their personal mobile numbers as the Duchess of Sussex, not as Rachel Meghan Markle. So she has been allowed to do this. Harry and the Aspen Institute as Prince Harry. Is there a nefarious agenda that we know nothing about? Because I understand people getting upset. Oh, the website. That's a website, guys. How about them interfering in politics using the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles? That letter to Congress where she wrote as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, never as Rachel Meghan Markle, an American citizen, which is what I've been saying in my channel for the longest time. Now we're seeing the consequences of complete lack of action from the palace. Meghan Markle does what she wants because she's been allowed to do that. At this point in time, it's not even on Meghan Markle. And of course she's angry. What do you mean I can't use it on our website? You've allowed me to use it to write to Congress. You've allowed me to use it to campaign. You've allowed me to use it to go to the UN. You've allowed me to use it for everything else. You've allowed me to use it for Spotify. You've allowed me to use it for Netflix. In fact, I trashed you on Netflix as Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So for people to come and now say that it's illegal for them to use that name without the permission of the monarch, that can only mean two things: that the monarch was okay with them using it for everything else except for our website. I mean, I put the question out there, guys, because I can almost guarantee you that the monarch is not going to do anything. And everybody, the press and us YouTubers are going, oh my God, how could they do that to the monarch? The monarch is allowing it. He has it in the palm of his hands. All he has to do, sorry, I'm going to use my right hand. Grab a pen, issue a letters patent, and tell them to put their titles, and basically put their titles into abeyance if he can't bring himself to remove them completely. King Charles III can issue a letters patent right now from his hospital bed. He doesn't even have to issue a letters patent. According to the law, he can either verbally express it, like he did when he announced that Prince William was now going to be the Prince of Wales, and, you know, the Duke of Cornwall, clearly. And then later, because that's all the law contemplates, guys. The law contemplates that the monarch has, he can say it. Anything that has to do with titles and styles, he can say it verbally, or he can do it through a letters patent. Either, because those two things are made so, and then it's just a matter of bureaucratic getting it done in a letter printed and published. That's it. So King Charles III can right now, from his hospital bed, as hard as it may be, stop this scam, this absolute shit show that his house has become under his regency. He can just either say verbally that Henry Mountbatten, that Prince Harry will be known from now on as in public as Henry Mountbatten-Windsor, and so will his children, unless they are at royal events in the United Kingdom. He would need to strip them. It will be like the HRH, but then he will make it public that his name would be Henry Mountbatten, Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten-Windsor in public, and that he cannot use his titles for any commercial, nothing, only for royal functions, as it should be, because Lord Chamberlain clearly states, the law clearly states that in order for any royal crest, and this is different, this is another video I'm going to do, any royal crest, emblem, name to be used has to be done with the permission of the royal. In this case, Harry and Meghan are the owners of their coat of arms and the title. but it's not their last name, as Meghan Markle said, and it cannot be used on business for business purposes. So what do you think, beautiful people? Do you think that Harry's visit had a lot to do with him coming to talk? Because you know what? Let's face it. I am sure this is the monarchy of the United Kingdom. Harry and Meghan Markle are no match for the intelligence services of that. I am sure that they're up to date on the shenanigans these two idiots are doing. And they have allowed them to get away with that. In fact, they were even against everything in this Queen's Commonwealth Trust website. Harry was featured heavily for Better Up, and he got over 400, almost 500,000 memberships at $499 each. Thanks to that. So they have been enabling them. They have been enabling them. What is stopping Charles, King Charles III, from either verbally saying it or writing a letters patent stating that from now on, Harry will be known as Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten-Windsor, and that neither him nor his wife can use the courtesy honorary titles or royal styles other than for royal engagements in the United Kingdom. That's all they have. All he has to do is not difficult. He's not stripping Harry of his titles officially. He would still have them, but he can only use them for things, because clearly he's not going to do it on his own. If anything, they're going to keep at it. As I've always said, an abusive person only escalates behavior. They never de-escalate. And I can understand Meghan Markle's surprise, because for serious stuff, please think about this. For serious stuff, you guys I worked in diplomacy, guys. You have no idea of the consequences. What Meghan Markle did, writing a letter to Congress in the United States from the office of, and I've done many videos about that, from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's like, for example, a senator of the United States writing a letter, not as John Smith, but as a senator of the United States, writing a letter to the UK Parliament telling them how to amend their laws. That's how bad it is. People are up in arms about her calling herself the Duchess of Sussex, using her husband's name. And yes, that website, it's fantasy, but those fantasies she was allowed to have, because Spotify did put her fraudulently, in my opinion, as the first #1. We all knew it was a lie. Everybody pandered to it. Oh, NAACP, even though she gave $100,000 and then they give it back to her, they pandered to her. Robert F. Kennedy, oh, they're fighting institutional racism against the very same institution that they're now using their, not only the titles, they have turned the title into a last name. So I wonder if they actually officially changed their names in the United States to Sussex. Because it's just another thing to watch. They can actually, you can change your name to anything you want. So what if she changed it to Sussex? You know, why not? And it has nothing to do with the title. It's just that she changed her last name to Sussex. And that's because everything she's put in that bio, on that, I mean, I would be embarrassed. Everything she's put in that bio, it's actually true. Spotify put her on first. Everybody was calling her a bestseller. She did get an award at NAACP. She did get a humanitarian award from fighting racism against the very same institute. This is like her boasting about a Ku Klux Klan title, the Grand Master of the Ku Klux Klan, you know, and then she, while denouncing racism and horrible things, and then, but call me KKK. You know, you can dress casual. I saw something on BBC and I really liked that part of the article. You may dress casual, but call me Duchess, you know? So, yeah. So, it's true. She got the woman. We saw that when they faked that car chase. So why are people shocked? She's the one who's shocked, because people are getting mad because of a website. Why didn't they get, I mean, why? You know, it's like when they abuse her, when they punch you and they beat you and they beat you. And, you know, he's gotten used to that. And when the first time you threw back a punch, it's like, oh, how dare you? How dare you hit me back? So that's how Meghan Markle is right now. But she's getting used to that, because as long as she gets to keep it, I can tell you exactly what Meghan Markle is thinking right now. So what? There's nothing you can do. It's my last name. There's nothing you can do. It's my last name. So I'm entitled to do with it whatever I want. Even if it means wipe my ass, write Sussex on it and wipe my ass. And I feel sorry for the poor people of Sussex. This is actually a travesty, but this has been allowed by the monarch. Because there's things that could have been done and that could still be done. But because people say, oh, it's unseemly, it's his son. No, it's not his son. It's an idiot. It's a traitor. And as such, he should be treated along with his skanky chicken-legged wife. Please leave me your comments.